Bolivia is a country about the size of Texas, located in the central Andes Mountains. Its great central plateau is bordered by some of the highest peaks in the world. In one tiny slice of this great valley live the Quechua Indians. They exist on subsistence farming. They live on bare floors in mud huts. The terrain is so high and the air is so thin and dry that something called pterygiums grow unchecked over the eyes of the Indians. And cataracts form and encase them in a permanent world of darkness. Or so it was till the Texans came. And that's why the Indians lined the streets of their dusty little town and sang and threw confetti as members of this Texas-based foundation arrived to remove the shades of darkness that assailed their eyes. The people being showered with an outpouring of love are doctors and nurses, lay people, caring young and old, who gave up 2 weeks of their life and paid their own way here to try and improve the life of these people of the Andes. As they walk under arches of flowers and listen to the singing of the villagers, the I-Team begins to realize just how important their visit really is to these people.
They come in and they are so gracious, and they are just so wanting of anything that can be given to them. And when they leave, they are being able to see sometimes their grandchildren for the first time, or and they're so appreciative. You know, they want to thank us all before they even leave the table. So it's been so rewarding just to see them changing like that.
You know, I'd rather come and do something like this than go and, you know, sip margaritas by the pool in Cancun or something. We did that before, and it's nothing compared to this. The feeling that you get when you give something away, you know, is better than any vacation I could ask for.
Tomorrow they'll begin operations in the new surgical facility that a retired Exxon employee has come down to help the people build, using funds provided by Benevolent Missions International.
And when we got here, the foundation was already poured, and we started up. It's basically brick construction with plaster finish on the outside.
In 9 days, the volunteers will see an incredible 730 people. This is not a free service. These proud people insist on paying for the operations and the medicine and the glasses. Often they can give less than $1, but they will give something.
And in turn, I think that maintains their dignity, but it doesn't hit their pocketbook in a way that would maybe take 2 or 3 months of their family income to pay for that. So they do receive the service and the pharmaceuticals and the glasses with dignity and with deep appreciation that otherwise they wouldn't receive.
And I think it's important that that small fee that they're charged does not come to BMI. It really goes to the local organization to help it fund its staff and its expenses of utilities and surgical supplies.
Benevolent Missions International asks for nothing and keeps nothing for itself. It is very cold in the high mountains, but the Indians will sleep the night outside the clinic front door in order to be among the first to get inside when dawn breaks. The chaos of the jam of humanity, the jangle of voices, and the accents quickly give way to order as volunteers greet the Indians and, with the help of interpreters, fill out the necessary forms. Some are administering eye tests. Other volunteers do glaucoma screenings. Still others will dispense prescriptions and prescription eyeglasses that have been donated and refurbished to be recycled. In what will pass as surgical suites, doctors will begin operations to remove the film that covers many eyes. The miracles are about to begin. Physicians work to recover the pterygiums, a film that covers the eye.
What's her blood pressure running? Is she hypertensive? Nope.
Or to remove a cataract, where the lens becomes dark and opaque.
Okay. Let me help deliver the lens here. Did you get the other
This
end?
man believes in miracles. Somewhere in the mountains today, he can see clearly. For years, his was a world of darkness. And now he can see.
¿Entiende? He needed a stick to walk, and now he doesn't need a stick to walk.
The surgery is a relatively simple procedure for the seasoned doctors who volunteer to come with Benevolent Missions International. But to the Indians of Cochabamba, this is surely a miracle.
And I thank Jesus Christ that you have come here to do your work among us, the poor people of Bolivia.
Felicitamos a ustedes.
Therefore, we congratulate you. We thank you.
Gracias.
A lot of the people that you see walking with either a small child or with a cane or an older person leading them are blind, and generally that's caused either because of glaucoma or because of cataracts in both eyes. When the problem is bilateral cataracts, we're able to extract one of those and provide an intraocular lens, and then within 2 or 3 days that person's sight is generally restored. And with good follow-up from the assistants and the medical community here that supports APSAR, we know that they'll be taken care of and will have their vision restored far into the future.
He's supporting his family. His father died, and he lost his job because his boss could see that he had a cataract. You could see within his pupil that he had a white cataract. And so, if nothing more, we needed to remove the cosmetic defect and hope he had some vision. We didn't know what he could see. But we got in the eye, and it was...
Can he see?
Yeah, so he sees pretty good. It's a little fuzzy yet, you know, but he sees pretty good.
And he's telling us that when he went home yesterday with his patch on his eye, his mother asked him, because he didn't tell them he was coming to be operated. And he told them, I felt now that he has vision, he can see now, and he's so happy.
That's a miracle, any way you slice it. All of the work of Benevolent Missions International is done with the full cooperation of the government of the country, as well as the local doctor, who in this case is also the local dentist and whatever else he's needed for. There is one doctor in Bolivia for every 60,000 people. The average man in Bolivia will live to be 52. The life expectancy of a woman is 56. Up here in the mountains, the odds are worse. After Benevolent Missions International is gone, the facilities are open for the local doctor to use, or for any other health group that may want to come in. There's also much value in the interaction with the indigenous local groups.
Well, we think it's important for our kids to be able to see cultures other than the culture that we're growing up in our own manicured neighborhood in Houston. We've got 2 boys that are 16 and 17 years old, and we want them to have the chance to learn that everybody in the world is not as blessed as we are in the United States or as we are in our particular neighborhood. And an excellent way to do that is to come out and live with the cultures that you're working with for a week at a time. This is our 2nd trip where we've taken our kids, and the last trip we went on was one of the best experiences they've ever had or we've had as a family, and we expect that this week will be the same way.
As the Benevolent Missions International volunteers work side by side with the local healthcare providers and their volunteers, they're helping to build an infrastructure in the local health group so that this work can continue when the Americans are gone. Benevolent Missions International is supported by people of all faiths and backgrounds.
The kind of things that we do doesn't have anything at all to do with your religion. It has to do with the person inside. And it's amazing that people of all religions have the same feeling and person inside as one another. the fact that we are made up of all different religions. We have people who are Jewish and Catholic and Baptist and Methodist and of all denominations, just simply shows that we're really basically all the same. We all feel the same way, and we all want to do the same things.
While we do not evangelize or promote a particular doctrine, I think the common ground upon which we all stand is that we have a love for humanity and for the needs we see there. And where there is hurt and a desire for hope and the rebuilding of lives, I think people can come together through the work and the mission and purpose of BMI and share that and share it well and feel good about it together, ecumenically.
But you should know that they did not hold one prayer meeting, they did not conduct a church service, or even discuss religion with the Indians. They came here to heal the sick. That was their mission, and that's what they did. As the volunteers worked, their efforts affirmed the dignity and the worth of the people of the valley. Somewhere around the world, every month, another team is going to work in conditions as bad, or in some cases far worse than this, to heal the sick. The good works of Benevolent Missions International are not limited to faraway places. They are keenly aware that charity begins at home.
You know, we talk about BMI serving underserved areas of the world. In Texas, we do have a program that's kind of unique. It's a preschool audio-visual screening program. And our volunteers there in Houston are state trained and certified by the State Department of Health of Texas, and they go into the inner city areas and to rural areas and screen 3 to 6-year-old children for visual and hearing handicaps. And then we attempt to get something done about them. So we do have this domestic program at home too, which is very important to our overall program.
They do it for 2 reasons. 1, they can do it, and 2, it's the right thing to do. The volunteers pay their own way. Often the needed medicine is donated. Sometimes it must be purchased. Shipping medicine and equipment to the far-flung corners of the earth is very costly.
There's a tremendous amount of money involved, and we basically operate on charity. We collect what we can, and it's amazing how people will give money for programs like these. They know we're doing something that we get no benefit from. You know, we basically, what we benefit from it is, of course, the feeling that we've really done something for people who need it. But when you have to depend on donations for the money that you use to promote these programs and run these programs, we do this without any government support at all. And we just simply do the best we can do with what money we can gather.
Here, a car battery and an outdoor sport light serve as a makeshift surgical lamp. Benevolent Missions International has learned to be very resourceful. They know how limited resources can be.
I think the greatest need we have is always for volunteers. Personnel that are willing to take a week or a week and a half of their lives and invest it in serving their fellow human beings in maybe a remote part of the world. I think the need for volunteers is always preeminent in the work that BMI does. And then I'd also say that we need the support of the medical and surgical pharmaceutical companies that provide the supplies that are essential to any project. And if we were to try and put these trips together without that support, it would be next to impossible.
This is a very expensive proposition. But we're dealing with people who live in mud huts with dirt floors. They own a pig or 2, and they scratch out a living from a rocky farm. When their eyes go, their life used to be over. Now Benevolent Missions International gives them another chance. In Cochabamba and places like it that you've probably never heard of all over the world. When you realize how much good you can do in the world, it is hard to turn your back. Benevolent Missions International believes we can change the world by removing the shades of darkness that assail all of our eyes.